everyone. Thank you for coming to the second presentation of our Friday Student Scholar Days. Please help me in welcoming Danny Ladoni and his student. Yes.
Thank you so much for coming this morning. I have the pleasure of introducing Abe Rosenberg. I consider Abe to be certainly one of my most long-standing students. He started video right when it started here at Adams State, so he's shown a lot of motivation, a lot of dedication, a lot of patience. He's now put in 2 years with Grizzly Video, and he's made countless numbers of projects. It's been really amazing to see his work grow from the very first class that I had with him to seeing him go through music video production, making short films, making documentaries, of course his work with Grizzly Video as well. So I was very excited to nominate Abe because I knew there would be a very large variety of work that he could pick from, and I was excited to see what he would end up doing because I knew that he was doing some fantastic stuff. He's originally from Crestone, Colorado, so he's a Valley native, and he originally came here doing theater, and then he took some time, became an interdisciplinary student, and he's kind of become one of the more he's kind of like the young version of the Dos Equis guy. He's the world's most interesting man because he has his own band, and he works on a farm, and he has a video production company, and every time you have a conversation with him, you can learn new things about Abe. So I invite you to give him a warm welcome and picking his brain about his presentation today.
Thanks, Danny. I'm going to start off with an episode from this series that I've been working on with Morgan Velasquez. This is what we just started watching before the presentation, so I'll just cue it up again and you can watch that. And then I'll talk for a little bit about what I think it's all about. And then I'll finish off with another movie. So sit back and enjoy, everybody.
Say I want that nice layers from the top down, I'd actually pull all my hair straight up into the air and trim it off, resulting in all the hairs on the bottom being longer than the hairs on the top, which looks like a layered haircut. For longer hair, I recommend sectioning out the hair into 4 sections, basically just sweeping across the head in a very orderly motion and trimming all the hair off above my fingers.
Now that I've swept with my fingers across, holding them vertically, I'm going to go up and down horizontally. This ensures that I get every hair the same length.
I like to think of it like mowing your lawn, and you mow it one way and then you mow it in the other direction. Any last little grass blades that you may have missed the first time around? A very common haircut for men is the fade, which is basically a 90-degree haircut from here down. And as we get up to the top, we start to bring that into a 45-degree angle haircut, which means taking my top hairs, pulling them straight out with my 90-degree hairs, and cutting them off so that they all blend together, resulting in the top being longer than the sides. Now let's just say I had long hair, and I wanted to pull all that hair straight up, like I said, in a 180-degree haircut. Pull all that hair up, so resulting in long layers on the bottom that got short to the top. Then I could take this top bowl area of the head and perform a complete 90-degree haircut on it alone, resulting in a mullet. Classic 80s haircut. I had one. I recommend everybody has one at least once in their life, just to know how it feels. While that's going on, I'm going to tell you a little bit about the history of haircuts. Hair is an ingredient that can affect our self-esteem and is a direct method for most in staking claim to their individuality. It can sometimes determine whether we have good days or bad days, who and what kind of relationships we attract, and is often seen as a source of childhood trauma. A hairstyle, hairdo, or haircut refers to the styling of hair, usually on the human scalp. The fashioning of hair can be considered an aspect of personal grooming, fashion, and cosmetics, although practical, cultural, and popular considerations also influence some hairstyles. Throughout history, people have worn their hair in a wide variety of styles, largely determined by the fashions of the culture they live in. Hairstyles are markers and signifiers of social class, age, marital status, racial identification, political beliefs, and attitudes about gender. In many cultures, often for religious reasons, women's hair is covered while in public. Only since the end of World War I have women begun to wear their hair short and in fairly natural styles.
It's best to do most beards at the classic 90-degree style.
Straight up. Avoid phrases like, oops,
My bad.
my bad. Always seem interested and genuinely concerned with your client's welfare. Oh yeah, looking good. Your hair sure does look nice. Have you been conditioning with a new conditioner? How's the wife? How does that make you feel? In civilizations, women's hair was often elaborately and carefully dressed in special ways. Women colored their hair and curled it and pinned it up in a variety of ways. They set their hair in waves and curls using wet clay, which they dried in the sun and then combed out. In imperial Rome, women wore their hair in complicated styles, a mass of curls on top, or rows of waves drawn back into ringlets or braids. Eventually, noble women's hairstyles grew so complex that they required daily attention from several slaves and a stylist in order to be maintained. Their hair was often lightened using wood ash, unslaked lime, and sodium bicarbonate, or darkened with copper filings, oak apples, or leeches marinated in wine and vinegar. The male wig was supposedly pioneered by King Louis XIII of France in 1624 when he had prematurely begun to bald. Short hair for fashionable men was a product of the neoclassical movement. Classically inspired male hairstyles included the Bedford crop, arguably the precursor of most plain modern male styles, which was invented by the radical politician Francis Russell, 5th Duke of Bedford, as a protest against a tax on hair powder. He encouraged his friends to adopt it by begging them they would not. In the early 19th century, the male beard and also mustaches and sideburns made a strong reappearance associated with the Romantic movement, and all remained very common until the 1890s. In the later 50s, high bouffant and beehive styles became popular. In the 1980s, women pulled back their hair with scrunchies, stretchy ponytail holders made from cloth over fabric bands. Women also often wear glittery ornaments today, as well as claw-style barrettes used to secure ponytails and other upswept or partially upswept hairstyles. Women and men could choose from a broad range of hairstyles, but they were still expected to wear their hair in ways that conformed to gender norms. Today we have all sorts of hairstyles: long, short, curly hair, crimped hair, fringed hair, cornrows, afros, beehives, crew cuts, bobs, pixies, shaved head, buzzed head, updo, downdo, natural do, wind blown, sun bleached, wet, dry, anything you could think of, anything you could want. So many hairdo possibilities. This has been an episode of The Theory of Haircuts. We're at the Jackrabbit Hall. See you next time.
All right, so this is the first of 2 short episodes that I'm going to show you guys today. And as you can see, it's a mix of how-to do-it-yourself videos mixed with history told to you by a furry or fuzzy animal that is animated. And this is something I've never done before, computer animations. And so it's been really exciting for me to get to do that. And also, aside from just being a fun thing to do, there's a specific meaning, an important message that's behind this entire series. And so that's what we're going to talk about right now. Just going to fade that. We can go to my PowerPoint. Okay, so my name is Abe Rosenberg. And welcome to my presentation. Today we're going to talk about video, specifically geared towards online films and how they can change the world. So in order to save the world, we as a species are going to have to change. Period. No matter what. If we continue on the same cyclical path, we're more than likely going to destroy ourselves and our planet. With the economic crisis, climate change, global population, deforestation, and the use of weapons that damage the biosphere, we're looking at potentially a human-caused Armageddon here. But don't be scared, because right now is not the time to be scared, because there's something we all can do, and it's pretty simple. We're just going to do what we naturally do, change or evolve. If we look around, it's easy to notice that everything is always changing, especially in nature. It's hard to find anything that's not subject to change. Things are growing, moving. And human beings, as an extension of nature, are also subject to change and must evolve or fall into ruin. Scientific studies have shown that humans and other animals with mirror neurons can create empathic reactions in the brain. This means that we can actually feel the emotions being experienced by another. For example, when a person sees another in pain, the viewer, their brain the areas associated with pain are actually activated. So this is why film and television is so captivating, because it shows you, or can show you, the human face, which then will actually trigger your brain to react as if it were really you. With this information, it's clear to me that video has incredible power. The power to show many people complex concepts of the human mind. And with the emergence of the internet and sites like YouTube and Vimeo, people can share whatever they're making with anyone in the world. There are now so many YouTube channels that I got rid of my TV. And you should too, because it's worth it. There's no need to go through mainstream television anymore. By doing things like not watching mainstream television or boycotting Walmart or Monsanto, we take power back into our own hands by attending local farmers markets and community gatherings. We join hands with our community and create an independent society of supportive people in real life and online. If we make videos that inspire people to take their lives into their own hands, to be independent from consumer products, to seek personal growth and self-love, to be fearless and motivated, to be excited to learn and to recognize the lies when you see them. If we make videos like these, we can change the world, because we're integrating evolution with media. So this is the next episode of my series called the Bring It Back Backpack. You can find the complete series on YouTube and all of my videos. You can find it by searching Jackrabbit Hollow on YouTube or my name. And I hope you enjoy the presentation. And instead of asking what videos will I make next or what videos will Alan make next, maybe think about what video should I make next personally, and then go out and create. All right. If it opens.
Yeah, just go to VLC. I think it is open. Yeah.
Oh, there we go. All right, let me bring it back for y'all.
Hey, I'm Morgan, and we're in the Jackrabbit Hollow. Everybody's got one of these, right? Fairly nice jacket. That zipper just don't work no more. It's plumb broken. So we got these hoodies, these sweatshirts, and they don't have zippers on them. What do? Well, you could go through a lengthy process of fixing the zipper. So I'm going to show you an easy process for how you can turn this broken hoodie into a Bring It Back backpack. Let's get started. First thing, you want to attach your sleeve to the front jacket section just below the pocket.
A backpack, also called a rucksack, knapsack, pack, is in its simplest form a cloth sack carried on one's back and secured with two straps that go over the shoulders. In ancient times, the backpack was used as a means to carry the hunter's larger game and other types of prey. The bag itself was made up of different animal hide and skin, and sewn together by animal intestines, which were woven together tightly to make sturdy thread-like material. The word backpack was coined in the United States in the 1910s. The word rucksack is a German loanword, mainly used in the UK and in Western military forces.
Now we got our sleeves sewn on. Next step, sew that zipper together.
The body bag is backpack filled with pockets that are suspended on the wearer's front side and loaded in such a way that the load in the front and the load in the back are about equal. The majority of the load on the body pack is carried by the hips. The ideal load carrying system should not disturb the wearer's natural posture, balance, and movement of the body. The load must be dispersed onto the skeletal structure in a balanced way and should not produce forces on the body forward, aft, right, or left.
Just seal that off with a cross stitch. Last things last, or first, if you prefer, is some watermark on this jacket and complete the process with the breathing. Little thick coming over that sleeve, that's alright, no problem, we can get through it.
Backpacks in general fall into one of 4 categories: frameless, external frame, internal frame, and body pack. Frameless. The same as backpack design is a bag attached to a set of shoulder straps. Such packs are used for general transportation of goods and have a variable capacity. In many countries, backpacks are heavily identified with students and are a primary means of transporting educational materials to and from school. In this context, they are sometimes known as book bags or school bags. Wooden pack frames were used for centuries around the world. Otzi, the Iceman, may have used one in the Copper Age, Alpine Italy. The internal frame backpack is a recent innovation invented in 1967 by Greg Loeb, who went on to found Low Alpine and Low Pro, companies specializing in backpacks and other forms of carrying bags for various equipment.
I'd like to make a special note that when you come to the zipper, veer around it, or stop and pick up where you left off.
The use of bags predates recorded history, with the earliest bags being no more than lengths of animal skin or woven plant fibers, folded up at the edges and secured in the shape with strings of the same material. Despite their simplicity, bags have been fundamental for the development of human civilization, as they allow people to easily collect used materials such as berries or food grains, and to transport more items than could readily be carried by hands. The word bag probably has its origins in the Norse word bagi, from the reconstructed Proto-European bak. In modern world, bags are ubiquitous, with many people routinely carrying a wide variety of them in the form of cloth or leather briefcases, handbags, and backpacks, and to carry home groceries.
And here you got it. As you bring a backpack, as you can see, the hood is still usable. And you have pockets in the front for cell phones and other items. So let's just try it on and see if it works. Put all your things in that little area there. Some tomatoes.
Cheap disposable paper bags and plastic shopping bags are very common in the retail trade as a convenience for shoppers, and are often supplied by the shop for free, or for a small fee. Customers may also take their own shopping bags to the shop, although paper has been used for purposes of wrapping and padding in ancient China since the 2nd century BC. There are environmental concerns regarding use and disposal of plastic shopping and trash bags. Efforts are being taken to control and reduce their use in some European Union countries, including Ireland and the Netherlands. In some cases, the cheap bags are taxed, so the customer must pay a fee where they may not have done previously. Sometimes heavy-duty reusable plastic and fabric bags are sold, and these may replace disposable bags entirely. Sometimes free replacements are offered when the bag wears out. A notable exception to this trend is the UK, where disposable plastic bags are still freely available and are dominant. A bag may or may not be disposable. However, even a disposable bag can often be used many times for economic and environmental reasons.
Alright. There you have it. Bring your backpack. We just saved this sweaty's life. And I know that he appreciates it. And so do I. And I have a good backpack carrying my tomatoes in.
Plastic pollution involves the accumulation of plastic products in the environment that adversely affects wildlife habitat, and humans. Many types and forms of plastic pollution exist. Plastic pollution can adversely affect lands, waterways, and oceans. In 2012, 32 million tons of plastic waste was generated. A single plastic bag can take up to 1,000 years to break down, and plastic bags remain toxic after they break down.
You can wear it hood on, hood off, up high, down low and swanky.
Making your own reusable bag is not only fun and easy, but it can greatly reduce the amount of clutter and pollution being released into our home space planet Earth.
It's getting a little cold out here. I better put on my hood.
Thanks, Dominic, for the great idea. This has been an episode of Bring It Yet Backpacks. We're in the Jackrabbit Hollow. Dactylia.
Open up your eyes, take a look around. You ain't got nothing to turn me on. Time to start again. Got a brand new pair of wings. We are the
anybody has any questions, feel free to ask me now. Or you can just keep watching, whatever.
So is that Morgan's voice speeded up?
Yeah, for those ones it is. There are some other ones where we had other people. There's one that I did in the season finale that's actually like a French rat talking about winemaking.
So, as this technology continues to evolve and maybe eventually reach the point where Google Glass can say and stuff will look better, whatever, do you think that it will still basically revolve around cute cats?
Well, you know, there was the, I think it was a Japanese invention that was a computer that behaved like a human, except all they could do was search online. And they spent 80% of their time watching videos of cats. So it's very likely, you know.
So the cats will never disappear?
I don't think so, yeah.
Can you just talk quickly about how long it takes you to make an episode and what the process is like? Do you start with the history? Do you start with the how-to? Where does that come about?
Well, usually I start with the how-to video. And then as that is being compiled, I also have some time to go and do some research. So I actually learn a lot about every single thing that we do a video on. And it does take a lot of time. The real challenge with this was doing a consistent release date. And so we did a video every week, which meant that we were putting in, I don't know, up to 20 hours a week just on getting the video finished. And luckily we were able to do some of the shooting in series. So we'll shoot 3 how-to videos and then edit that and do the animations and the history for each one separately.
Could you elaborate on your techno-utopian claim that video can save the world?
Yeah, sure. Well,
Yeah, that's really the big
yeah.
claim
Well,
here.
the
and
big
it's a claim
picture
that's made
is,
often, right?
as Alan was saying earlier, this is kind of the same message. Video is, in my mind, the best medium to facilitate creation of the human mind, simply because it engages the senses, you know, aside from maybe touch and smell, it engages more senses than most art forms. And so we can go through an experience and explain an experience to another person with ease. And so with that power, if we choose to do things that are, you know, meant to have a message or meant to inspire someone to do something differently, then that's good, you know? And I think that does change the world, simply because people are learning to do things themselves. People are learning to take more time for themselves. And I've found, simply by getting rid of my TV, that I've opened myself up to so many possibilities as far as people that I am inspired by. And those videos changed my world. And my world, hopefully, will change another person's world. So it becomes, instead of a cyclic behavior where we're repeating the same things over and over again, we have something that becomes a catalyst for change, a spark in our life that will then gear us to do something differently to really have an impact on what we find as these big issues in the world, you know? And each person has one, at least, that you can think of, I'm sure, that is a big issue in the world that you don't like or you don't resonate with. And so video is an opportunity to explain something new, to explain a different way of doing things. And that's kind of what I think.
And that's really part of the whole liberal arts project, to help people to be makers of their world rather than just passive consumers of their world.
Exactly.
And this all sounds wonderful, but then again, this morning I spent about a half an hour getting rid of adware on my computer. So how do we prevent these wonderful new technologies from simply becoming new ways to get us to buy stuff?
Well, exactly. You should go ahead take off your ads, all right? Go onto YouTube. You can skip through most of those ads, and you can just get to what you want. That's the beauty of these channels. You can go onto Alan's channel, and all you get is everything that Alan's ever made. You can go on my channel, all you get is everything I've ever made. And so what happens is you're selecting what you want to come into your peripheral vision. You're selecting what you want to absorb. And by doing that, you're weeding out all this other thing. I'm not saying that we don't have to swim through all the, I won't swear yet, but you know, you don't have to swim through as much of the consumer BS that's being thrown on you. And BS, I mean belief systems that everyone is being force-fed all the time. And it encourages you to think for yourself, and that's the most important thing. So thank you very much, David. I gotta go.